Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. My name is John. This is Havoc Maker Studio, or I should say maybe welcome to the channel for maybe some new folks. So what do we do here? We cover gaming news, sometimes good, sometimes bad, other things like comic book news, and I've got a whole bunch of other content coming down at some point for some upcoming Kickstarters for some RPGs, my own RPG series that's going to be hopefully coming out next year as long as things fall through, and some more videos that I'm going to be doing. And everything is like the stars are aligning, which is in some universes not a good thing. The universe that we're going to be talking about, probably not a good thing, but the stars have aligned, the planets are in alignment, and things are working out pretty well for us here at the studio, or our temporary studio. So, what are we going to talk about today? It's the Monster Hunter International Skirmish game from Everything Epic. And we talked about that last week when I did a preview of the Kickstarter that actually launched today, earlier today. And it was just a little bit. And I've talked about the videos before, or the book series before, for Monster Hunter International, and some very old videos. Definitely when I was over on FMP Wargamers, but we're going to be doing some more videos in the future because it's time to go ahead and do that. I've got enough people following, and it's time to kind of branch out into some other avenues, some other content videos. And why not start with my favorite book series, Monster Hunter International? So I've shared this book series out with about close to 24 friends in the military and civilians, even former military, and everybody seems to have fallen in love with it, calling me back, texting me, Facebook messaging me, like, oh my God, I can't believe that Frank's is blah, blah, blah. Or did you know what Owen did? And like, yes, I have. I've read I've read these books, at least the entire series 3 times, and the memoirs. God knows how many times I've read the memoirs. So it's like, so I get excited and then I go back and read it because they're getting me excited about it again. And a bunch of us backed the Kickstarter from Pinnacle Entertainment for the Savage Worlds game universe version of Monster Hunter International, which is bloody brilliant. They really captured the universe for Monster Hunter International and put it into gameplay. Got challenge coins, got a lot of great swag out of that. Really excited about that project. We've actually enjoyed many hours of playing that universe and watching horrible things happen to people. But we're here to talk about this Kickstarter. I'm not going to go too much into the lore of this because it's really going to require countless hours, countless videos, just breaking down the characters, the universe itself, the creatures, the stories, story arcs, and organizations. We're going to be all over the place, and it's going to take a little bit, but we're going to get there. I promise you, we're going to get there. But the reason why I want to bring this up is I'm a huge fan of this series. In fact, it has helped give some inspiration to the novel series and the RPG, really the RPG that I'm writing, that I'm now writing stories for, and hopefully you'll be able to put them into a book format and then, market the whole thing for, 2023. But anyways, it's really some inspiring stuff. Whether you're a weapon geek, if you're a weapon geek like Demolition Ranch and Brandon Herrera over on, or the AK guy. If you know those guys on their YouTube channels, they are really gun enthusiasts. And this is the type of book series that they would be jonesing for, just for the guns and all the craziness that goes on. If you like mysteries, if you like combat, you like monsters, you like real world mythology brought into reality, this is really the place to do it. It's not just fighting monsters, but how politics gets involved, how the different governments get involved, corporations. It's a really eye-opening experience to read these books and see kind of what the reality of what monsters in the real world would be like and what lengths would we'd have to go to deal with this. So I really highly encourage you to read these books from Larry Correia. It's the Monster Hunter International series. They're New York Times bestseller list. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and just start the video because I could just ramble on and on and on about this. I'm going to say one more thing. This series, reason why I got excited about this also is because the RPG ended up being really good. The tabletop skirmish game that we're about to talk about looks really good. And this series really lends itself to the small screen and the big screen. I could see this easily making it to Amazon or HBO Max for sure. Please, not the CW. We don't need a hot new CW cast. Reimagining, everybody pretty model type young things running around fighting monsters. No. We need nitty gritty, and it really should probably be on something like Amazon, Stars, Paramount Plus even, or over on HBO Max. And if you guys do, Larry Correia, if you guys do, give me a call. I am going through some physical training right now, getting back into Marine Corps shape. I wouldn't mind joining, even if I am a part of the body count. No, just kidding, but please call me. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Please call me. And let's take a look at the opening video for this and then dive right into the skirmish game. So this is their Kickstarter.
Monsters are real.
I'm going to sit back and
Everything
shut up.
from myth, legend, and nightmares are creeping in the shadows. Luckily, most people won't ever have to face that truth. There are people that risk their lives to protect the world from the things that go bump in the night. It's what pays the bills. And for the otherworldly horrors, it's what makes life worth living and taking. Monster Hunter International, the tabletop miniatures game, is based on the critically acclaimed series of novels written by Larry Correia. Peek past the veil to a world hidden from the untrained eye.
Looks really
Take
good.
on the role of a hunter stalking evil in the dark, or embody otherworldly horrors and snuff the life out of those who get in your way. Pick from 4 distinct hunter and monster factions: MHI, MCB, the Undead Night Stalkers, or the Otherworldly Evils. Choose one of the unique game modes and jump into the action. Tactical decisions, strategic gameplay, and exciting combat offer endless replayability. Collect all the highly detailed miniatures representing your favorite characters from the novels. Relive the most exciting battles from the books, or write your own story when you and a friend battle one another. In a world of werewolves, vampires, dark magic, and much more, monsters are our business, and business is movement. Monster Hunter International, now on Kickstarter.
Heck yeah. Okay. So since I've started trying to make this video today, this the Kickstarter's gone up like $6,000 in the past hour. So really awesome. On its first day, they were looking at $50,000 and they've already more than doubled that. And we still have 17 days to go. So right now, from what we've already kind of covered before, this is going to be on a small map, which I think is ideal for any skirmish game, anything really beyond a 3 foot by 3 foot, and that's even stretching it. Area of play is going to be really stretching the limits of it being a skirmish game. I think 3 by 3 or a little bit less, maybe 2 by 2 is, or something along that lines, is really, really the best, because the gameplay, any game that you can play really fast, be able to make lots of tactical decisions, still have a lot of fun, and have time to get 2 or 3 other games in, versus a lot of other games out there that you're playing 3 exhausting hours for just one game. That's ridiculous. Now, when you could play a miniature game in, say, an hour or less, that is ideal, because you can get multiple games in, take a break, and then try another scenario. You can get a lot done with just one game a day and still be highly involved with the series and not be like, this game is too long, it's too boring, or I just get so worn out from playing. I really don't want to get involved, or there's so many miniatures I've got to paint. You just kind of get turned off to it. This is really ideal. And please keep in mind that Everything Epic and Larry Correa, they are not paying me to talk about this. I don't get any kickbacks. I'm not getting anything for free. I don't no sneak peeks, rules, anything. So I am just promoting something that I'm really going to be passionate about. So we already talked about the game modes a little bit more. We don't know a whole lot about how this game plays or what the game modes are going to be like, how fast this will play, what the rules are like. We kind of get an idea, but really right now it's just let's just talk about this project. So one of the things that we've talked about before and really want to stress is all pledges are Kickstarter and direct exclusive. It is not going to retail. So if you want to jump on this, then this is the time. Don't wait for it to get your friendly local game store because it's not going to make it. If I'm reading that right. If I'm not reading it right, put it down in the comments below. So we do see all the different book series, almost all. We're looking at the first 8 books here. And I don't know if these are on Audible. If they're on Audible, let me know because I would love to hear the voices. I've read these series at least 3 times, if not more. I mean, like the memoir books, I've read probably 6 or 7 times now. Like I said, I've turned my friends onto this, and this is really an absolutely amazing series. If it is on Audible, and yeah, I could go look, but I'd rather hear from you guys, especially if you've listened to it on Audible. Put it down in the comments below what you thought about it on Audible and if it is, because I'd love to hear it, especially when I'm doing my long drives. So looks like we have a huge cast of characters. They're not going to have every character, it looks like, which is totally understandable because there's a huge cast of characters. What would be really cool is to see if companies like, say, Turn-Based Miniatures did some 3D sculpts of some of the other MHI and MCB members. That would be really cool. But let's take a look at this from what we can understand, or we can gather from the 3D renders and these actual printed miniatures. The quality is well above average. I'd probably put it about a 7 or 8, where, we're talking like, they're not the Ferrari of miniatures out there, but they are not, the meeples. Yeah, they're definitely highly detailed, well sculpted models, really capturing the full essence of what these characters are like in the novels. I mean, I can look at these and go, okay, well, that's Jefferson. That's definitely Trip, as we were talking about last time. We know who Julie was. So it was really easy to pick out who the characters were, especially if you know the series. They did a very good job of capturing the likenesses in the sculpts. So what we can tell from the gameplay is you and your opponent will both take a different team. One of the 4 different factions are going to be available. You guys are going to choose a game mode, and that's going to have a variety of setup where you're going to have different objectives. You guys can construct the terrain however you want. Looks like there will be some included, probably cardstock terrain, but most people out there have 3D printed terrain or are going to be 3D printed. You can easily go to your local game store and play on one of their tables there and use some of their terrain. This is really going to be a no-brainer, or just use their terrain here. So we know that it is grid-based or measurement-based, so you can have, looks like 1-inch squares to measure everything out, or if you want to use measurement tools, you can use that. Now, here's where I was a little nervous at first. I wasn't too sure on how involved I wanted to get. And it was only from the proprietary dice. And proprietary dice, I'm talking about like you're seeing rolling here on your screen. These are dice that have set symbols on it. They're not the normal, like these are 6-sider. So instead of a 1 through 6, you have different symbols that tell you like, oh, well, you get 3 hits on this dice, no hits on this dice. You get 2 defenses over here, that sort of thing. And at first, I was a little put off by that. And then I remember I'm only put off by that from the Genesis system from Fantasy Flight Games, for like their Star Wars series, for their Legend of the Five Rings. Those where you're using these weird proprietary dice to determine the outcome of not only your actions, but they also tell what's happening. Their storytelling elements as well. I didn't like that. I didn't think that was good for the game flow. But when I revisited it, especially with the Marvel Crisis Protocol that uses the same kind of proprietary dice, I realized that this is actually super ideal for tabletop games because you're not having to look at a dice going, okay, well, I got 4 3s. I actually need those to be 4s because I'm -1 here and I'm +2 here. And if I divide by a grape and carry the apple, then that means I would actually need 6s to hit. So it all, I know I'm being a little ridiculous here, but that's how some of these bigger games are when you're rolling 60 dice and you're having to count out how many 4s and 5s and stuff that you needed to hit. And if you guys will think about when we're growing up as kids, that we do a lot of matching games, matching symbols and faces. You know what I'm talking about, and that makes there's a kind of a psychology behind this. I'm not saying from a child's point of view. I'm just using it as a reference, but from a psychology point of view and visual reference, it's faster and easier for us to look at these symbols, recognize what they are, and do the matchy match. It's so much easier than adding and subtracting and dividing numbers and going through all that. Not that, say Games Workshop games using the normal 6-siders is a difficult to subtract and add and stuff. But when you start having to go, well, what's the order of operation? And I'm rolling 60 dice, it becomes a lot more tedious and really kind of draws out gameplay. And that's one of those many reasons why you have those 3-4 hour long games, because the dice mechanics kind of play into that. So this really speeds things up. So, but that said, it looks like when you're making your attack rolls, and this is probably also for any sort of also interaction rolls with terrain or objectives and such. We still don't know about that, but I'm imagine if there's any other sort of dice rolling, it's going to be like this. So choose an attack. So it sounds like you're going to have multiple attacks for characters. Double check that you got line of sight and range. Pretty standard with the skirmish game. You're going to roll your dice. So this is kind of like Marvel Crisis Protocol, where you roll attack dice, you roll defense dice, you match up the symbols. Will apply any special abilities or anything to adjust those dice, and then resolve the damage, if any. And if you lose all the damage or all the wounds or health or life, whatever they use as values on your character, you remove it from the map and you move on. It looks like it's going to be extremely fast. I am going to predict with 5 miniatures, maybe your first game is probably going to be maybe an hour long. I could see this game being 30 to 45 minutes as you guys get more comfortable playing it. We know that there's multiple objectives. We know that there's multiple ways to play. And they even talk about coming up with your own objectives, your own modes of play and story and whatnot. Especially if you've read these books or listened to the audios, then you know a lot of the different stories and you can come up with some unique, awesome, hey, let's replay this moment from Mardi Gras. If you guys know the Mardi Gras from the memoirs, what happens at Mardi Gras, let's recreate that. Totally could do that. So let's take a look at the pledges. I'm not sure exactly what level, but I think, well, I kind of do. So the first level, it's going to be $100, and this is extremely inexpensive because you get the full game with 2 factions, everything you need to play the game in one box for $100. You are done. Tell me how many other games out there that are like that. Go ahead. I'll wait. Not that many because we've actually covered them here. But I think most games are around $100 that are just to kind of get your foot in the door. And then you're going to be spending probably up to $300-$400, or like if you're looking at Games Workshop, you're going to be spending $1,000, and then add on probably another $500 every 3 years. You'll could because of new books. Actually, probably about another $300-$400 for your favorite faction. We talked about that before. Then let's take a look at the squads. Now, this is all going to be in the first box. This is in the core game for $100. So we get the Monster Hunter International squad with some of the key characters. We got Owen Pitt. We got Julie Sutherland. We got Trip. I don't remember. For some reason, I wanted to say Trip Hazard. That's not his name, but I can't. I can't think of Trip's last name. Anyways, so Trip, three of the main characters, right from the get-go, along with Earl and Wolf. I'm not going to tell you who Wolf is, unless you already know. If you do know, if you want to spoil it in the comments, go ahead. Right now, everybody is looking on point, exactly as I imagine they would look in miniature form. So right now, really tickled pink, and really Brandon Herrera really should be looking at some of the weapon designs for this series, or at least, unfortunately, you're gonna have to read the books or listen to the audios to see what guns they're talking about. Maybe even Google it. But you definitely will love these type of weapons, with you being with your chosen line of profession. Demolition Ranch, buddy, and Kentucky Ballistics. I could see them getting involved in this too. Oh man, I'm getting super excited. Super excited. Anyways, let's take a look at the other worldly evils. I'm going to butcher these names, but we got Mikado. He is one of the big bads that you read about through most of the series, or a good portion of the series, or at least hear about. Corinna. Oh boy, I'm going to butcher their names. She looks exactly as I kind of imagine her, being very curvy and sexy, but creepy evil. The soldier and the scouts, those are types of demons, and if you know from a couple of the different books, you know how terrifying they sounded, and now we know what they look like, making them even scarier. Now we do have the all-in gaming, which gets you both the core game and the expansion, and this gets you your other two factions. So we have the Monster Control Bureau, which is the MCB, with Agent Franks, Agent Jefferson, Agent Myers, and Agent Stark. I don't have a beeping machine or to bleep out what I want to say about Stark, but Stark. And then we get the Undead Night Stalkers, Ray is a vampire, Susan, the Whites, and the Gargoyle, which I think looks really good. They did a good job on that Gargoyle. Well done, guys. At least the 3D sculpt. I don't know what it's going to look like on the tabletop, but that's the render. That's not the actual miniature. No idea if it's going to look that good, but right now it looks bonkers awesome. So they've got a bunch of other swag, as you would expect. Guys, keep in mind that this is not going to retail. If we are reading this correctly, it's not going to retail. Don't miss out on this. Let me know if you've read the Monster Hunter International series and who your favorite characters are. Let me know who your favorite characters, your favorite books are, your favorite moments. Let me know if you're going to back this. I'm certainly going to back this. I'm going to be stretching my my Marine Corps medical disability payment. Actually, I'm not going to be stretching it, but yeah, I'll go ahead and do this. Yeah, we'll probably do the 200. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are going to do. Like I said, guys, if you are fans, though, of this series, or if you're fans of urban monster hunting, modern day lore, or novels or series, universes, this is really the ideal. If you like combat, you like mysteries, investigations. As a former criminal investigator for the United States Marine Corps, I really enjoyed a lot of the mysteries. I liked the interactions of the MCB, kind of the forensic stuff that goes on. Having done that, the interrogations, a lot of that I kind of like clued in on. Really enjoyed that. If that's your bang, you're fitting it there. If monsters from our own mythology is your jam, this is really the series to get, and this is the game to get into. I don't know how much more I could say about this without dragging this on with a bunch of other series videos, which we're going to do for sure. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I haven't figured out what we're going to be doing for the next quarter giveaway, but we are going to be doing something. No, it's not going to be Monster Hunter International, but we are going to do something. And so we're going to be doing that for this next quarter or something. You got to be a subscriber. You got to make sure that I can see that you're a subscriber. So that means going into your settings and not hiding who you subscribe to. That's the only way I can include you in the giveaways. And leave a comment. I really appreciate it, especially if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, still leave a comment, but go ahead and let me know why. That way I can adjust fire for next time. Anyways, my name is John. This is Havoc Maker Studio. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.